Hey guys, welcome to the fish room. I'm Rachel O'Leary and today I think is Thursday. The fish room has been a little neglected. Not that I haven't been doing my water changes, but I haven't been doing a lot of the cleaning, like the deep cleaning I normally do. I'm preparing for a few shipments in the upcoming weeks, so I'm going to go through, clean all the tanks really thoroughly, get a good inventory, shuffle some fish around so I have more space, and really just take a close look at the critters. I'm still a little bit gimpy, but I'm getting around now without any artificial help, so the day has come. So I figured I'd just talk to you guys while I got to work. Most of the species in the fish room right now are completely clear quarantine, which is nice for me because it means I don't have to worry quite as much about the cross-contamination of equipment. So you'll see me using the same siphon in tanks that have fish that have been here for months. The ones that have still been here for a month or less get their own equipment. So let's get started. First off, over here, I have a large group of Rummy nose that I got for a customer who's doing a super huge planted tank. Then we have the red nose shrimp tank, Panduro Apistos, and green neons. I need to catch these dudes. There's only like 2 of them left. Those are the little spice rasboras. There's more Apistos up there. Endlers in here, crabs in there, and I just need to sort everybody out and figure out exactly what I've got. So you'll see that well, maybe you can't see, but I'm siphoning into a bucket, and that's just because normally when I drain this tank, it goes to my drain ports, and I don't want to send all this debris into my drain ports. I use those mainly for volume water changes, so you know, after I suck up all the dirt, mung, plant matter, or whatever that I'm getting out of the tank, I'll start a secondary siphon that drains the water level. And I do this in most of my aquariums. So start my siphon and then run it across the room to a drain port. And because this siphon goes to a really small gauge tube, I don't have to worry about the fish getting sucked up and into my drain ports. I use the larger gauge tube to actually vacuum up the bottom of the aquarium. While that's draining, well, actually, I'm going to position the siphon so that it'll do. So the goal with this tank is about a 50% water change because there's 250 Rummy nose in there as well as a mono shrimp, and I want to do a nice big volume change. The tank below it is filthy and I have been ignoring it for quite some time. It's got a bunch of my pond plants from last summer out there. So I'm going to give that a good scrub down and water change and try and figure out exactly what fish are in there, which requires moving my throne. Now I know in this aquarium there are Apistogramma trifasciata, Oryzius wowere, or the Daisy's rice fish, and assassin snails, some monos. It's really just a mix of a whole bunch of random crap. And with me having a bunch of bigger orders coming in, I need to consolidate some aquariums so that I have room for quarantine. It's sort of a constant job in the fish room, finding space, because my space is so limited. I know it looks to you guys like I have all these tanks and all this space, but the reality is I really need a lot more. And it's extremely difficult for me to quarantine properly without having more tanks. So as you guys know, I have the dreams of someday getting a fish house. and it's for that reason. It would be nice to have sort of a limitless potential for quarantine and breeding. So again, doing a large water change, wiping down the glass. Ooh. Oh, plant. This tank, I need to catch all the fish out of. Now, a lot of times I just use my hand to wipe down the glass. This tank gets some brown algae on the glass, so it's really easy to just wipe it off. Today's also a fun day for me in the fish room, and every Thursday for that matter, if today is in fact Thursday, because it's a day that I get to feed the tanks really heavily. A lot of days of the week I don't feed a lot of the aquariums because I'm going to be shipping the fish either that day or the next day, and I want to decrease the amount of waste in the shipping bags. So it's fun for me in the second half of the week that I get to feed everybody and see them get all excited, and it's just a good time. So I'm just gonna go around over here, siphon out tanks, clean tanks, take inventory, and really just try to not flood the fish room. And you'll see I do about 50% on my aquariums. I feel like that's a good volume for most critters. Almost flooded the fish room. I'll also, you'll see, push my siphon into the sponge filter during this type of maintenance. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it or not, but a lot of mulm will come out of my sponge filters at this time, and it's just a way to extend in between filter cleanings. Because, you know, when you have 100 aquariums, most of them have 2 or more sponge filters. That's a lot of filters to clean on a regular basis, so I try and prolong in between as much as possible. And I can tell this one doesn't need to come out for a cleaning because the bubble output's really strong. If I see ones where the bubble output is lesser, then I know I need to pull them out and actually give them a good clean. And I'll show you guys that too, because I'm sure there's some around the fish room that need it. Now I'll also start siphons going on some of the bigger tanks to do large volume water changes because they take a while to drain. And again, I have to run lines across the fish room to drain ports for this. And it'll be a nice slow siphon. I'll take that one down. I started draining it yesterday and then got distracted. I'll take it down about 30% with a 75 gallon. And one of the reasons when I'm siphoning the bottom, I use a bucket is because I just found a fish. One of the slowest processes in the fish room for me is actually physically refilling the aquariums. Because I only have one hose. I can, like right now I'm draining 4 tanks, but I can only refill one at a time. I think after I'm done cleaning everything up, I'll take you guys around and we'll just peek in a few of the aquariums. So after I finish the water changes when I feed them, and I'm feeding today Sarah GVG treat mix. It's kind of interesting. It's a mix of all sorts of freeze-dried and flake things. And the fish really like it. I use it as more of a treat than a staple diet. But it has fish, krill, sea algae, gamaris, bloodworms, daphnia, spirulina, and all those sorts of things in it, as well as color enhancers and fatty omega fatty acids. You can see how the fish respond. You can see how the fish respond. One of the things that's cool about Rummy nose is that you know your tank parameters are in good shape because their nose gets really red when they're happy. So they can be really useful as sort of signifying fish. You can see all of these guys have bright red noses, which means they're healthy, they're happy in their tank, and the water quality is good. Now I did the other side of the fish room yesterday, so I can feed them right away. Often I'll drain and fill at the same time. It sort of stirs up debris and makes the water change take out more of the gunk in the aquarium. That aquarium's pretty clean because it's full of shrimp and snails. But I want to do the volume exchange. Because you see, like, evaporation may lower your water level, but it doesn't remove any of the stuff in the water. So over time, more and more stuff, your total dissolved solids will increase, and you need to exchange the water to get rid of that and dilute things out. And a lot of times these big water changes will induce spawning, especially in cichlids, because it tricks them into thinking there's a rainy season. Just a little side note for you. So what I tend to do in the fish room is one section at a time, and that makes the work a little less overwhelming. As you can imagine, vacuuming and maintaining all these aquariums is pretty much a full-time job. So the way that I manage it best is by dividing and conquering all the chores. These guys look fantastic. This is the tank of fish I need to catch. I decided to not do it today. My foot's killing me, and I just don't want to. Rhizes. This tank's really yellow all the time. I think it's the glass. It's a super old tank, and it just looks like garbage. But the fish are pretty. This is the water spots. This is the apple snail and green babalti tank. And I dropped a bunch of pellets in here so that we can take a look. You can see there's a buried green babalti. This makes me super happy. It means they're doing well. There's some juveniles. And as I've mentioned in past videos, I'll start selling these guys again once these juveniles start having babies. So probably another few weeks, but there's a good amount of them in this aquarium now. And I just think that they're stunning. This is the red nose tank. Neat little critters. The Apistogramma panduro. The males, or the panda apisto. I think they're super sexy. Look, see how the blue's coming in from the last time I showed you guys? On the males, you can really see it on this guy. He's chasing a lady. It's another apisto tank. This is my triple reds. You guys have seen these a lot throughout the past year. Mama has fry. I'm not sure if I can get those babies in focus with this lens for you. You can see she's pissed off that I'm even looking at them. These are the Scarlet flame badis. Dario Hysamyon, you guys will remember them from my disaster shipment. They're all looking really nice and fat now and completely transitioned to dry foods. You can see the nice red color starting to come in beautifully. These are what's left of the kubatai. They've been selling like hotcakes. There were 250 in there and quite a few less than that now. You can see the nice blue iridescence they get to their top line. This is the wild betta tank. It's intentionally black water because they're a black water fish. See one of the males there. Been working with wild bettas for about 8 years now. They're a species that always finds its way into my fish room. These are the dwarf chain loaches. Noshing on some Sarah GBG. Honey gourami up at the surface. You can see the females have that lateral brown line. The panther crabs. Are all over this tank. I have that floating log for them. The endlers. I have half beaks in there. And I'm going to have to get down and move the ladder to show you the other tanks. In here are carbon and carbon rilly shrimp. And over there is another Apisto group because I'm a hoarder. Look how pretty their colors are. Now I'm intentionally leaving some mulm in this tank for these guys. And then this tank always looks like soup, and that's because it's meant to mimic sort of a riverbed. So I leave all the mulm, and there's lots of leaf litter and driftwood and plant matter, but the fish are just thriving. And then over here we have, of course, my crystal red tank, crystal red and crystal blacks. Fighting over food. This is my micro crab tank. It doesn't look like much, but the crabs like it. And then down here is my red rilly tank. Again, not very attractive, but the shrimp breed really well in it. So tomorrow, it's this wall. I said I was going to do it all today, but I changed my mind. These guys all got water changes yesterday. There's just those little sparkling gouramis in here. This tank is empty. This tank has coolies. Those two tanks are empty. These guys actually got a water change yesterday too. So now 2 of the sardine cichlids are being more visible, but the rest are still, might as well not even exist. This tank is going to be a project. I have to pull all those plants out, vacuum it, clean the filters, catch the fish, and honestly I'm just too tired to do it today. The big boys need their glass to be cleaned, which is not a fun job because the little Cuban likes to bite me. So I prefer to do it when I have a lookout. This big tropical guy is pretty chill, despite him being the biggest fish in the tank. It's that little guy that likes to try and eat my elbow, my left elbow every time. Down here we have the silver coolies. There's some wild bee shrimp and Boraris maculatus. In here, tangerine tigers. This tank is empty. In here we have our little puffers. Over here we have some SB rasboras as well as peacock gudgeons. In here I have the last of my longfin white clouds, as well as those Japanese Niwella delicata loaches. And then up here are chili rasboras, and there's actually quite a few in there. And then you guys know my river tank. That one's actually due for maintenance today, but I'm not going to film it. This tank is empty. See the tag up, that means it's ready for new fish. This is my shelly grow out. This is a tank of Danianella, one of the smallest fish in the world. This tank needs to be emptied and reset. It doesn't have any fish in it. This has those Trigonostigma sumfongzi, those endangered fish in it, the ones that were thought to be extinct. They're all hiding in the back right now. This tank is empty, and this is my cherry shrimp tank. Turn on the light. This is an old metal frame slate bottom tank, and it's kind of grubby looking, but I let the algae stay on the glass, and that's because, like, if we look on this side, you can see all the little baby shrimp. So I come down here when the lights are out, and that's how I can see sort of what my numbers are and when I can anticipate to sell shrimp again. So it doesn't look the best, but it serves a purpose. And everywhere I look in this aquarium are baby shrimp eating that algae on the glass. Oh, I'm going to be revamping my little shipping station here. You'll notice that that 2.5 gallon cube is gone. I sold it yesterday to one of you guys. My Brooklyn tank is doing awesome. See how nice and yellow the shrimp are? But yeah, so that's what's on the agenda for the rest of today. I haven't made too terrible of a mess, shockingly. It's unusual for me. I just have this little area over here to put back the way it was and get things in right. So that's all for today. I'm gonna get to work on some mock-ups. I've got some piles of stone, and a lot of you have been very patient waiting for me to heal to get to mock-ups, so I'm gonna try and get that done for you. Thanks for watching, guys.